Assalam, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saim Majid, leadership wala student at Rehan School our campus. Today I was talk with Miles on some topics. Hi,
Hey, what's good?
Miles. My first question is, what is water?
Mm, simple enough. It's the stuff that keeps us alive. Basically, two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen. But honestly, the wild part is how it behaves, like how it can actually defy gravity to climb up a tree. Ever heard of capillary action?
Okay, Miles. My next question is, why is water important for life?
Well, without it, everything just stops. It's the ultimate solvent, meaning it dissolves almost anything and carries nutrients and oxygen to every cell in your body. No water, no fuel for the engine. You think you're a water person or more of a caffeine driven machine?
Okay, Miles. My next question is, how much water does the human body contain?
Roughly 60%, though it shifts depending on your age and build. Some organs are way more drenched than others. Like your brain is mostly water.
Okay, Miles. My next question is, what are the main source of water?
Most of it's the big stuff: oceans, rivers, lakes, and glaciers. Then you've got groundwater, which is basically a massive hidden reservoir under our feet. You ever drink from a well or just stick to the tap?
Okay, Miles. My next question is, what is the water cycle?
It's basically nature's big recycling system. Water evaporates, turns into clouds, and then falls back down as rain or snow. Just one big loop that keeps everything moving. I bet you'd be surprised by how much of that water was once inside a dinosaur.
Okay, Miles. My next question is, how can we save water?
Small shifts make the biggest difference. Things like shorter showers or fixing a leaky faucet. Even just turning off the tap while you're brushing your teeth saves a ton. You trying to go greener or just curious?
Okay, Miles. My next
Ready for the
question
next one?
is, what are groundwater source? Give me a hint.
Think of it as a massive underground sponge. It's mostly rain. All right, let's dive deep. Groundwater is basically water that seeps down through the soil and rocks, a process called infiltration. Once it hits a layer of impermeable rock where it can't go any further, it pools into what we call aquifers. These aren't usually underground lakes, but more like saturated sand, gravel, or limestone. When we dig a well, we're just tapping into those pockets. It's a huge deal because it's the primary source of drinking water for millions of people and it keeps rivers flowing even when it hasn't rained in weeks. The crazy part is that some of this water has been trapped underground for thousands of years, basically acting as a time capsule of what the atmosphere was like way back when.
Okay, Miles. My next question is, what is fresh water?
Basically, it's water with very low salt concentrations. Um, Unlike the oceans, which are salty and basically undrinkable, uh, fresh water is what we actually need to survive. You'll find it in glaciers, lakes, and in those underground aquifers we were just talking about. The catch is that even though it feels plentiful, only a tiny fraction of all the water on Earth is actually fresh and accessible to us. Pretty wild when you think about it.
Okay, Miles. My next question is, how does water help digestion?
It's like the lubricant for your whole system. It break. You got it. Let's get into the details. Water is essential for digestion because it starts the process before you even take a bite. Your saliva is mostly water. breaking down food chemically and helps you swallow without everything getting stuck. Once it hits your stomach, water helps dissolve nutrients so your body can actually absorb them. It also keeps things moving through your intestines, preventing that sluggish feeling and keeping everything regular. Basically, it's the delivery system that carries the good stuff from your food into your bloodstream and flushes out the waste. Without enough of it, the whole assembly line just grinds to a halt.
Okay, Miles. My next question is, what is waterfall?
Basically, it's just water that has nowhere else to go but down. It happens when a stream or river flows over a steep ledge or a cliff and gravity just takes over. You end up with that massive drop and a lot of noise. Some are just little trickles, and others, like Victoria Falls, are absolutely colossal. You ever seen one in person or just in photos?
Okay, Miles. My next question is, what is boiling water?
That's when you
Give me a
add
detail.
enough heat to keep it short. It's just water hitting its boiling point where it turns from a liquid into a gas, creating those bubbles you see as steam.
Okay, Miles.
Simple, right? What's on your mind?
Okay, Miles. My next question is, which
I'm listening.
country face water shortages?
Let me check. It's a pretty heavy list, mostly centered around the Middle East and North Africa. Countries like Kuwait, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Libya, and Qatar are hit the hardest because they're just using way more water than they actually have. But it's not just them. Parts of South Asia, sub Saharan Africa, even the southwestern US are feeling the squeeze. Apparently, we've hit a point where billions of people face severe scarcity for at least part of the year. There's some wild info on how some of these places are trying to survive without natural sources, if you want to hear it.
Okay, Miles. My next
Heavy
question
stuff.
is, what is irrigation?
Irrigation is basically just a man made way to get water to crops. Instead of waiting for rain, farmers use pipes, canals, or sprinklers to bring water from a river or a well directly to the soil. It's the reason we can grow food in places where it almost never rains.
Okay, Miles. My next question is, what are
You got me.
different irrigation method? Give me a detail.
Let me pull that up. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty. Drip irrigation is probably the gold standard right now, especially in dry spots. It basically delivers water directly to the roots, so you aren't wasting a drop on evaporation. Then you've got smart irrigation, which is like the high tech version that uses soil sensors and weather data to decide exactly when to water. On the flip side, you still see a lot of traditional flood irrigation where they just soak the whole field, but it's super inefficient and wastes a ton of water. There's actually some interesting tech on how AI is managing these systems now, if you're curious.
Okay, my next question is, how does water help crops grow?
Basically, the lifeblood for the plant. Water carries all the nutrients from the soil up into the stems and leaves, kind of like a delivery service. It also keeps the plant upright. Without enough water, the cells lose pressure, and that's when you see them wilt. Plus, it's a key part of photosynthesis, the process they use to turn sunlight into energy. No water, no food, no growth.
Okay, Miles, my next question is, how is water used in homes?
It's everywhere, really. From the obvious stuff like drinking and showering to things you probably don't think about, like flushing the toilet or running the dishwasher. It's basically the backbone of everything we do to keep a place clean and functioning.
Okay, Miles, my next question is how is wastewater treated?
Basically, a huge cleaning process to make it safe for the environment again. It starts with screening, where they filter out the big stuff like sticks and plastic. And it goes through a settling tank where the heavy grime sinks to the bottom and the light stuff floats at the top. After that, they use bacteria to eat up the organic waste, and finally, it's disinfected with things like chlorine or UV light um, before it's released back into the wild. Pretty gross, but it works.
Okay, my next question is
You're on a roll.
how is wastewater? What is water cycle? Water recycling? Give me a long answer.
You're hitting a lot of the big ones at once. Let's break them all down. First, wastewater is basically everything that goes down your drain from your shower, your sink, and the toilet. It's the used water that's now contaminated with soap, chemicals, or waste and needs to be treated before it can go back into nature without killing everything. Then you've got the water cycle, which we touched on earlier, but it's the Earth's massive natural recycling system. Water evaporates from the ocean, turns into clouds, and then falls as rain or snow. It's the same water just moving in a loop from the ground to the sky and back again, meaning you're likely drinking the same molecules that a dinosaur once did. Water recycling is the human version of that cycle. Instead of just cleaning wastewater enough to put it back in a river, we treat it to a much higher standard so we can actually reuse it. Amaro boro. Not sure I've heard that one. What's it mean?
Okay, Miles, my
No,
next question is why are glaciers are important in our lives?
they're way more than just giant ice cubes. Think of them as the world's biggest water towers. They store a massive amount of the Earth's fresh water and release it slowly into rivers during the summer, which millions of people rely on for drinking and farming. Plus, they're like a giant mirror for the planet, reflecting sunlight back into space to keep the Earth from overheating. If they disappear, it's a double hit. We lose our water reserves, and the planet gets even warmer. Pretty high stakes, right?
Okay, Miles, my next question is what is precipitation?
Basically, it's any form of water that falls from the sky. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail. If it's coming down from the clouds, it's precipitation. It's just the next step in the water cycle we were talking about earlier.
Okay, Miles, my next question is
I'm
how
ready.
do people
What we got?
assess groundwater?
It's a bit of a detective game. I start with mapping the geology to see where the water might be hiding, and then they drill test wells to check the depth and quality. They also use things like electrical resistivity, which is basically sending a current to the ground to see how it reacts, since water conducts electricity differently than rock does. It's all about narrowing down the spot before they commit to the big dig.
Okay, Miles, my next question is how does water affect
I'm
health?
locked in. It's basically the fuel for every single organ you've got. It keeps your joints lubricated, regulates your body temperature through sweat, and helps your kidneys flush out all the waste. If you're
Okay, Miles, my next question is how does clean water reduce disease?
It's all about cutting off the source. Clean water means you aren't drinking bacteria, parasites, or viruses that cause things like cholera or dysentery. Plus, it makes basic hygiene possible, like washing your hands, which stops germs from spreading in the first place. Basically, it's the strongest wall between us and a lot of the nastiest diseases out there.
Okay, Miles, my next question is what are the disadvantages of plastic bottles?
They're basically a nightmare for the planet. First off, they take forever to break down. We're talking hundreds of years, so they just pile up in landfills or end up in the ocean. Then you've got the microplastics issue where the bottles break into tiny pieces that get into the fish, the water, and eventually us. Plus, the energy and oil it takes just to make them is a huge waste when you could just use a reusable bottle. You still use the plastic ones, or have you made the switch? I think you mean how communities can
Okay,
protect water,
Miles,
right?
my next question is what role do government play in water management?
It's really about setting the ground rules. Governments handle the big picture stuff like passing laws to stop companies from dumping chemicals into rivers and managing how much water cities and farms can actually pull from the ground. They're the ones who build the massive infrastructure, the dams, the treatment plants, and the pipes that bring water to your tap. Basically, they try to balance the needs of the people with the health of the environment so we don't just run out. You think they're doing a good job or is it a bit of a mess?
Okay, Miles, my next question is what are the global challenges related to water?
It's a massive puzzle with a lot of moving parts. Biggest one is definitely the gap between who has water and who doesn't, plus the pollution from industry and agriculture that's ruining the fresh sources we have left. And then you've got climate change shifting the rain patterns. So some places are drowning while others are turning into dust. It's a race to manage what we've got before it's not enough for everyone.
Okay, Miles, my next question is
Glad you enjoyed.
what will happen if freshwater resources disease?
I'm guessing you mean if they decrease, right? It'd be absolute chaos. We're talking massive food shortages because crops can't grow and obviously a huge spike in health crisis as people are forced to drink contaminated water. It likely trigger huge migrations and conflicts as countries fight over the remaining clean sources. Basically, the foundation of everything just crumbles.
Okay, Miles, my next question is what
I'm
is
ready for the
your
next one.
message about saving water?
Honestly, just stop treating it like it's infinite because we tend to forget that the water we're using today is the same stuff that's been here since the beginning. If we keep wasting it or polluting it, we're basically stealing from the future. It doesn't take much, just a few small shifts in how we live to make sure there's actually something left for the next generation. Take it easy on the tap, and it'll take care of us.
Okay, Miles, my next question is what is the importance of water in our
I'm all
life?
ears. It's the glue that holds the whole planet together. Beyond just drinking, it regulates the entire Earth's temperature like a giant AC system for the globe. It creates habitats for millions of species, and it's the primary way nature moves nutrients and minerals around. Without it, the environment would just be dry. I think we take it for granted too much.
Okay, Miles, my next question is how does
I'm locked in.
desalination work?
Alienation War. That's a new one. You talking about something specific like a historical event or just a
Okay, Miles, my last question is what is hand
save this
washing
for less.
important?
A hand wash button. I'm guessing you're talking about a setting on a washing machine, right? It's basically a gentler cycle designed for delicate fabrics like silk or wool that won't get shredded by a high speed spin. It does the job of hand washing, but without you actually having to scrub everything in the sink. Catch you later. Be safe out A child ever? That's a bit of a pivot. You good?
Okay, bye, Miles.
Bye for now.